Hello everyone. You may have seen this video already. Made a few changes and I hope you enjoy it. Happy 99th birthday, Grandma. What gets you up in the morning? What do you look forward to when you wake up in general?
Well, I think right now it's get up so you can get to the pool. This is the cross-country ski. And then there's the frog hop. This is the can-can, just like on Broadway. They told me if you walk backwards, it's better exercise for your knees, so that's what I need. Then she has us do a really, really fast jog to get her heart rate up.
All done? Is that a wrap?
I think that's enough for me. So then I'm ready to go to the pool and get active and socialize. It's always a way to socialize in the pool.
You do this every day?
Well, some days my schedule doesn't allow it, but probably three days I do it. I get in here for a while and we chatter. We sit here and chatter. All I could to manage. I didn't get to play there as soon as I wanted to, but once I got started, I enjoyed it.
Live from Dalrymple.
Yes. By way of the Rose Room on the Baldwin piano. I went to a teacher there in Calgo. She was there for the summer. Now, I didn't have a piano then, but my mother knew I was really wanting to play, so she talked to this lady and she said I could come to her house and practice every day for half an hour. So I walked across town and practiced every day at the teacher's house and then had a lesson one day. So then somebody gave us an old piano. Some of the ivories were off the keys, and but that didn't matter. I had a piano. So then I got a chance to go to the next town to a teacher. So I did continue with my lessons. Well, we used this book when I was in junior, 7th grade. And I used to play. We would have music class and we would sing out of this book. Here on the back of it, it says 15 cents a copy.
What's the other book you have?
It's one that Kathy Kent gave me that belonged to her great aunt. And it's a lot like it, except it has more popular songs in it. So it might have been a little newer, but it doesn't look it. There is a tavern in the town in it, and it has hymns, Christmas songs. Oh, it has Home on the Range. Should I play that?
Yeah, that's great.
See, I was probably about 8 years old when we moved from Kingston, which was a very small town, to Calgo, which was another very small town. In Calgo, we didn't have a Presbyterian church, which my mother wished we did, but we went to the Methodist church. My mother is Gladys Robertson Bauer, and my dad is Raymond Daniel Bauer. They were both teachers. My mother couldn't teach after she was married. Well, they wouldn't let her teach after she was married. But she was a Latin and history teacher, and he was a math teacher and superintendent of a small school. My dad, I don't know, he was a teacher, and it just seemed like that job was pretty much what he did. I just don't remember having a lot to do with him, except at school, you know. I had him for a class. But my mother was, she was always there. I think I got that from my mother because she had books that she had when she was a child, and they were still in good shape. And I read those. Then she had other classics, you know, so I just always had books, and I kind of inherited that, I guess. She really encouraged us to read. We had some books of hers, and then she knew the state librarian, and they'd send us books in the summer from the state library, and we'd read them and send them back. She encouraged education of all kinds. Reading one now that goes with my circle lesson. One of our lessons was about how we all go at such a pace and don't have any time to really relax and know what the Sabbath is. This is a devotional booklet that a lady here, Val Rummel, passes around to everybody. This is the Bible, a whole Bible, and plus the Apocrypha. And I know some of these readings in here are from the Apocrypha, which you don't read very often. There's a lot of good wisdom in there. When I was ready for college, my dad didn't think they could afford to send me. They really couldn't. First one was a Methodist school, Central Methodist College. I took music theory, music history, and piano, first part. And I played a Beethoven concerto. I didn't live in the dorm. I lived with a family that we knew there, so that was cheaper. And Betty, my sister, paid for that, and then got some scholarships. So I did make it to college, but it wasn't easy. But then my dad moved to Kansas, and he said I should go to University of Kansas. I had worked a while and started in the summer, and I changed from music and history to music and education. I'd already had 1 year of harmony, so I was ready for the second year. So I went into the second year of harmony and keyboard harmony, and so that gave me a privilege of using the piano because I was taking keyboard harmony, so I could use a piano practice even though I wasn't taking piano. I really enjoyed it there. I always liked to be around kids. I enjoyed it in the library, and I enjoyed it when I taught.
Do you have a lot of good memories from working at the libraries?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, I said I wanted to be a librarian when I was pretty young. When I first started out, I was a children's librarian, and I dealt with children in classes and story groups and had to learn to tell stories. We didn't have movies for kids. We had real people that told stories, and they had to use their imagination a little bit. And that's what I did for 5 years in Kansas City. I went from children's to young adult libraries. And this picture, I was the Northeast Children's Library. I was head of the children's department, and it looks like I have a lot of new books there, and we're getting them ready to go out. Innovative Librarian of the Year of 1975, awarded by the South Dakota Library Association. I just enjoyed helping people. Oh, that's another story. You want that story?
I think now's a good time.
Okay. Well, I was living with a woman in Kansas City and working in the library, and I was living with a woman who was a doctor. Somebody gave her some tickets to a Kansas basketball game, and those are not easy to get. So she had 4 tickets. So she said she would get a date, and then she wanted me to get a date. Forrest had asked me to a game a year or so previous to that, and I knew he was a real sports guy, and I figured he was probably a Jayhawker fan. And I thought, well, I'd just ask Forrest because I know he would really enjoy that game. So he said yes, so he came and we went to the game. And this time we really just hit it off. He lived about 90 miles away, but he wanted to come back, and I said, yeah, I'll go with him. I met the family then. And so then after that it started getting more serious, and so we decided to get married, and that was in May, and we planned the wedding for September. I still have the program from the ball game. February the 2nd, 1957. Wilt Chamberlain. You enjoy your life with the other person, and sometimes when that person doesn't agree with you, you just work it out and realize that the good things outweigh the hard things, so that you can have a happy life together.
Can you talk about your interest in Queen Elizabeth, how that started?
Well, that was my mother again. She noticed that Elizabeth was starting to get quite a bit of notice, and she noticed that there was just 6 months difference in our ages. So she suggested that I start just keeping a scrapbook. We took the Life magazine, and I would watch for pictures of her. No, that's not me. Mm-hmm. People that knew I did, they'd send me things, and as I grew older and more people knew that, like my friend Peggy, she traveled a lot, and she'd always send me things that she got in England that had to do with Princess Elizabeth. My mother bought me that one statue, and Barbara bought me the other one. This is from the coronation. I probably bought that when I was over there in England. Coronation 1953. It says made in England. Fine bone china. And when I went over there, and I was lucky enough to get to see her in the parade, but she didn't say hi or anything. It was probably 55, something like that. She was in a parade in this, on the street in the carriage. And I got to see that. Just luck.
Wow.
See, she was 96 when she died, because she hadn't had her 97th birthday yet. And here's the newspaper when she died.
Will that be the last entry?
Yeah. Well, then, not long after we got married, he gets orders for Germany. So he left
Was it difficult that you were here and he was in Germany?
Well, it was something to get used to. His first wife's parents lived next door. They were a big help to me. I think people thought, she married a man with 6 children? Well, I'd been used to being with 30 kids. So I liked being around kids. The only thing that bothered me was when they argued. The girls would get in arguments with each other, because I wasn't used to that. They were well-behaved kids. They didn't cause me a lot of trouble. I was very glad to see Forrest when the plane landed in Frankfurt, Germany. And we were glad to be back and be a family again. Yeah, the 50s were pretty important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my degree, I got my job in the library, and then I got married, and then I went to Germany, and a lot happened in the 50s. But Charlie wasn't born till the 60s, though.
When you were first pregnant, was it scary? Were you nervous?
I got a little bit. In that hospital, they kept the babies in the room with the mother. So I had to get used to Charlie real quick. When I brought him home, of course, he was a big hit. He had a lot of welcomers. Well, I didn't want to be in the library there because you had to travel. So I applied at the school and to sub. And before they called me to sub, one of their teachers quit. So they called me to be a second grade teacher, which is the class I wanted. This is the family tree that was drawn by Morris Shapiro and embroidered by Patty Jones Mayo. At the time that she made it, she had everybody's name in the family, including the children, and a little picture by each person's name that was something that they particularly liked or reminded her of. Oh, what's the picture with you? It's in white, you can't see it. Oh, it's an ice cream cone. You must have liked ice cream. That first summer, we went with 2 other couples down to Rome and back up to Venice and back up through the Alps to Garmisch and back home. So that was nice. That was a trip with a tent, and Forrest said he wasn't going to do that again because it was too much putting it up and taking it down. So the next summer, we went to Switzerland, one place, and just drove around from there to Lucerne and up Mount Pilatus and the Matterhorn. Just took drives around from where we were, so we didn't move our house every time. We really had a good place to live over there, and I wasn't unhappy there, but I was kind of wanted to get back to this country and be where my parents were and my rest of my family. And of course, Forrest had a lot of family back in the States too, his sister. And of course, they sent us to Rapid City. I'd never been to South Dakota in my life. I didn't know what to expect. But we had friends that had been sent there from Germany also. And so they made a place for us till we could get a house rented. Yeah. We weren't in Fort Carson even a year. And he put in for this recruiting duty. And it's a good thing, or else he would probably gone to Vietnam. But he had put in for this recruiting school, and it came through in time so that he didn't have to go on those other orders. And they sent him to Sioux Falls because that's where they wanted him to be a recruiter. That was a great relief. We lived in this old house over on 7th Avenue, which is now where the McGreevy Clinic is. We rented it, and it was big enough for us. We were comfortable there. I don't know, I kind of liked Sioux Falls.
And from what years did you live in DeSmet?
76 to 90.
And why DeSmet?
Well, because Cindy was there, and because Forrest wanted to go someplace where he could sell and he wouldn't be in with all the others, in the office like he was at Sioux Falls. I always kind of liked small towns. Because I grew up in very small towns. Here's where I make all my birthday cards. And this is the new printer that prints them off. And on the computer I have many, many, many photographs of the family. And so then I can put the photographs of the family on the cards. And I've been doing this long enough that when I send a graduate a card, I can put the baby picture on the graduate. And I have an old address book that I have all the birthdays written down. Now the next question is, where's Mia's address? She moves around too much. And the printer I had was 10 years old, and it said that the ink pad was past its prime. So I told Charlie maybe we should go and get another one, and he said, oh, and in a little few minutes he said, there will be one coming delivered to you on Sunday.
Oh.
That's what he does on the internet. I mailed one today to Carmen that lives here, Carmen Jones, Max's little girl. She's going to be 3 next week. So it came on Sunday, and I read the directions and got pretty much done. And then I didn't know how to put the paper in, because on my old one you put it in from the front. So I had to call the technical help here, and she came up and finished it for me, got everything done. So it's ready to go now. Now I gotta print it. See, I did get a picture of her new husband. That's one page. So I just use a regular paper and fold it. Then I buy the envelopes separate. Ready to mail. We decided to leave DeSmet and go on the road, you might say. It was entirely different. I think maybe some people have trouble adjusting to retirement when they're still all in the same place. Whereas we were doing different things. We weren't bored. We went down and saw Pat and Rick and Carney, and then we left from there and went to Hannibal, Missouri, and saw all the Tom Sawyer stuff, and went on east and got there right during the beautiful trees in New England. And then we went south and came across through Kentucky and Tennessee and saw all the horse farms, the horse park, and then back to Rapid City. But we tried going to Texas for the winter, and it rained all the time. And so we thought we'd try Arizona. So we tried it for 10 years, because it didn't rain on us all the time. Otherwise, he might have been kind of bored in DeSmet when he couldn't play golf or do anything in the winter. He couldn't garden or anything. So this way, kept busy. And I got involved at the RV park. There's always things for me to do. You find out you don't really need all the things you think you do have to have. And you have the basics in those campers. We even had our World Book with us. So our retirement was interesting.
birthday, Grandma, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom. Thank you for choosing to be my mother. I love you very, very much, and I am blessed for eternity because of you. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Mama. Thanks for being the best, Mama. Certainly looking forward to lots more trips to the electric fetus.
Happy birthday, Margaret. 99. Congratulations. Been so blessed to have you as a mother-in-law, and I hope to celebrate your birthday many, many, many more times. Have a great day.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom, from all of us at the Doggery.
Especially from Sylvia.
Happy birthday,
Mom.
We're looking forward to all this. Happy birthday festivities. And you're such a wonderful example to all of us for 99 years. Thanks a lot.
Hey Grandma, I wanted to say thanks for coming to all my concerts and everything that I'm in. Happy birthday, I love you so much.
Hi, Grandma. Happy birthday from Texas. We miss you. We wish we could be there. We hope you have a super fun party and a wonderful new year. You deserve it. You're the best grandma ever.
We love you, Grandma. We're so happy for you, and we hope you have an amazing birthday, and we hope you have a blessed birthday. We love you.
Happy birthday, Grandma. You're so loved. I can't wait to have tea with you soon.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.